welcome back to the MotorFab YouTube channel. 2 weeks in a row, I'm back. Like I said, here we are with the Torana. I'll keep it short and sweet. We're starting the build series. We'll do a little recap probably next episode to take you back to the start. And yeah, we're going to build this car for our quest for the 6-second pass. Young Saxon's been down here today giving me a hand, so that's been really good. That'll help us get there faster. It's really good because obviously it takes a lot of time. These things are slow to build, but we're pulling a lot of stuff out of an already existing car, so that makes it a lot faster. We'll go right through, finish the car, drive the car, take it to the track, test, tune, do everything that we've got to do. So that'll be exciting stuff to watch, groundbreaking stuff. Thank you very much for the merchandise orders last week. Really appreciate that. Keep it coming through. And yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Enjoy this episode. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Share the episode around. Stick with it. A lot of people stuck with the Monaro from day dot through till hit the track, but the Monaro's not finished yet. We'll be back. We're going to get that 9. I promise you we'll get the 9 out of that car. And yeah, hopefully it's just got to make one pass and survive the spray. We'll get it. And the diff might not, but we'll work on that. So yeah, and then this car, obviously, we will persist for that 6. So we'll get stuck into the build. Come with us, enjoy the journey. Guess, let's do it. Righto, today's mission. Get that block attached to that engine plate in that engine bay. So, and then finish off the steering so it can actually steer the thing. We'll get that done, see how we go. Let's get started. Just bring that fork, just touch the lever and drop it down a bit, bud. So we've got our engine crane. Blocks in there. What are we now? We're 89.97, so we are 0.03 within 90 degrees. And we've got another little reader on the chassis there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? 89.5, so half a degree, 0.03 of a degree that way, so we're pretty close. The way that we're going to mount it, you'll be able to adjust it a little bit anyway. So it's, now that that's in place, we've got to set some packer so it stays there, get this engine plate, cut it down so it fits between the rails, and then mount it to the chassis rails so we can get the engine dead true. Obviously that's only one part of the equation. We've still got to get the gearbox running straight back and forth in the car, like left to right, dead straight in the car. So we'll do that and keep moving back. It just makes life easier if you keep everything square from the start to the finish. Right, so cut the plate, bolted up the front of the block, squared everything off, and obviously, yeah, we're gonna have a hole for our steering to go through and figure out how to mount it. For now, it's gonna put a dummy mount back to this old rail. Rail is only there for the set of rules I've built the car for. It's gonna retain the front rails, and which we don't really use in Australia, but more of an American set of rules, which hopefully we have that style of racing here in Australia soon. It's got the factory VIN tag in the factory location, notched firewall, and factory front frame rails. So steel roof and quarters. So I've sort of kept along those lines because that's the kind of cars I like. No other reason. So yeah, I'll just we'll put the dummy mount there to hold that, so we can get rid of the forklift. Get it all in location, and then I'll figure out how I'll best want to tie actual chassis rails into the front engine plate to best take advantage of the strength and support and stop the twist and all that sort of stuff. So we'll get it in there and holding itself in location, and then we'll work on what bars need to go where.
Why is this one so much thicker? Really sick compared to that one.
Yeah, I know.
It happens to be my fucking left
You're right, practice, mate. So put our holes in the chassis here. It's pretty thin, obviously. It's not going to do a lot. We're going to crush tube it. They'll retain those holes anyway, as well as linking it to the bars. But yeah, we're going to put our crush tubes through so it doesn't just squish in when we tighten the bolt. And I've got a hole there for the steering. So we'll start putting it all back together. So now we've got a plate all fitted up. Everything bolts up. We've got to cut off the excess. Looks like a lot, but the passenger side, left-hand side cylinder head actually protrudes past the block on the engine I've got. So yeah, we're going to trim that back down level with the deck or the block so that the cylinder head will pass it. Otherwise you're going to have all sorts of dramas with fouling. There's even still in the corner because the head actually comes down here, but I don't want to come down past our bracket. So I'll probably have to relieve the back of the engine plate so that it doesn't catch on the head there. The steering bit that you got to kind of guess where it's going to pass through. It was a bit tight in the corner, so just taking it out further so it all passes. So we'll trim that up and then it can all go back in, and that is that part pretty much done. Then we're just got to get some tubes. We're going to trim off that, but we're going to put an extra bar in the chassis that comes down and have a bracket that comes up and collects up there. We can do that in situ. So we get this done, trimmed up, back in the car. You stand over there, mate.
Oh, wait.
Huh?
It's the back of his head.
Righto, so Saxy boys finished cutting, finishing. It's nice and neat. We're going to put the plate back in now. Goes in a bit easier. Let's do it.
Here's your 2 bolts.
Thanks, buddy. Obviously, we're going down a bit. Chevy, what are you doing? You helping, mate? Okay, that's that. Then you whack it. We've got all my angle things over there too. Thank you. One bolt on this side there was already a hole in the chassis, some factory was bolted there, so we'll it's half a hole out, so we've bolted all in and then we'll run the drill through so it collects the half a hole, but we had to put it back in and do that, so we'll do that now. Go for it, buddy. Got your 10, you won't need that, just bang the 10 straight through. Hey, spinning your wheels.
Getting there.
You got it?
Slowly.
Did you drill bit sharp?
Probably not.
Does it pick up your finger? No, like that.
Nah. Or nah.
Righto, take the drill bit out. Let's show the viewers here. You film and I'll sharpen. Show me how to sharpen the drill bit. Some of you guys probably know how to do this, but obviously this, can you see that good?
Yep.
This cutting edge here is what picks up the metal, here and here. So you got to imagine that bit needs to be on an angle so that it actually picks up right forward to the tip, that way, and then also you need an angle that way so that it picks up from there and pushes out. So we'll sharpen it. This one's not too bad, but you can see the heat mark on the front edge there, and the front edge isn't straight anymore. And the drill's quite hot, so it was spinning. So we'll sharpen her up. Follow me. Come around this side, bud. On your pin here. See in there? So you never ever want to do that. You always got to be an upward angle like that, and then you come around and take the, and then you come back down until you want it. You only want to just get the cutting edge last run once. That's all you really want to do. We'll have to swap sides. then when it's sharp, you'll feel it picks up your finger. You always try to cut into your finger. Let's try it out. You ready, Socks? The chuck on this drill is absolutely stuffed, but trying to tighten it. I hate these keyless chuck drills. That's what they will make now. Done. Skin's lovely.
Under its own weight. Look at that. In there.
So there's our dummy block in. We'll obviously only there, we'll put the tubes in, mount to the bottom. We'll do that steering, we've got to mount the column a bit better. Yeah, it's good. But it sits there, it's all level, it's all square, it works. So we've got these dummy heads to put on there so we can mock everything up. Well, these are really good, very good heads, but they've been machined too many times, but they are dummy heads now because of that. Well, all of that really, and that and that. And this is, I've had a lot of success with the ute and reliability, but previous to that, till I got the combo right, this was one of my many failures. I spent a lot of money building this engine and it lasted 4 laps at Power Cruise before it valve seat dropped out of it and collected the valve, and then the valve snapped, and that's where the valve actually sat upside down on the piston, and the snap bit punched back through the top of the head, and then it all filled with water and just completely destroyed everything. So unfortunately they're not repairable because you see here part of the seat is gone because they got such a big valve, a massive valve in them. So the valve only just seats, so they can't take another skim. You'd have to weld all that up and then machine it down, and there's not enough valve seat. You can machine this further down and seat the head back further, but they've actually been ported so far. You can see on some of them, they go through the top of the thing there, and the oil leaks into the ports because they've been ported too far, and they're just thin everywhere. They've been ported way too far, so they're good for dummy setups now. But little side tail for you guys. So there's the heads on, and here you can see what I was talking about before. Let me focus. We'll just take a little bit more off that because, as you can see, it rubs the cylinder head. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. But you think, well, I don't space the plate, but you've got to seal the plate. We'll cut in the mill. We'll run the cutter around the back side of that and put an O-ring in there, because then the O-ring, this plate has to seal to the water surface of the block, and then I run an electric water pump remote mount, so we run a little O-ringed fitting on here with dash 12 on it on each side, so you don't want to space that too many more times than you have to. So that'll get the water sealing, and yeah, with those heads on there we can mock up turbo pipes and everything. So there you go, it looks pretty good. It's all sitting in there nice and true. Bingo. Last week we did a little shameless plug. Saxon, go model this thing, mate. Stand there and play around with that. We did a little shameless plug on the Moth Mounts phone and tablet mount. So you can, sit there and watch it, and you can also use that as a little film tool as well if you're filming with your phone. And obviously it was interesting to you guys because we got the guys at Moth Mounts called me and said a few of your loyal fans ordered off the website. So thank you guys, that was really cool. So the guys at Moth Mounts have also said that your Motorfab YouTube channel fans deserve a bit of special treatment. So they've given you guys a 10% discount. So if you watched last week and you thought that was cool and you didn't order, Chevy likes it too. Chevy, he's going a bit deaf. Hey. Hi mate. Chevy thinks it's all right. If you want to jump on the Moth Mounts website, www.mothmounts.com. It's on the screen somewhere there. And order. You'll get if you put Motorfab in as a discount code, you will receive a 10% discount. So check them out. There's all sorts. That's not the only one. There's heaps of different kinds. But check them out. They're pretty cool. Yeah, it's actually coming in handy around the shop here. So go for it. Get on there. I didn't put the link in the description last week and I said I would, but this week I will. Check them out.